And the tables and act as hosts at the meetings, etc. So the event is underway, being organized by the project people with the assistance of the Heritage Advisory Group.
Thank you, Alderman Smithson. Glad to know that it's in hand.
It is.
Council, the staff have passed to me a drawing, apparently by Bob Inwood, of the proposed heritage plaque. And it simply shows the coat of arms of the city raised or in relief. And then it simply says Heritage Building and a line, City of Nelson. So it would simply identify a building as a recognized heritage building. It would tip people off that information about it is probably in the brochure that they're following down the street on their walking tour or driving tour. I think that's the concept, and that's all that was intended.
For those that are interested, the June 11th is the intended date of the public meeting in our city.
On the adoption of the minutes of the Heritage Advisory Committee, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Item 3C, minutes of the Traffic Committee, May 6th.
Your Worship, I move that the minutes of the Traffic Committee of May the 6th, I move that they be adopted with the exception of item number 5, a subject that I feel should be reviewed again.
Item 5, don't speak to it until it's seconded, please.
That is my recommendation.
Second.
It's moved and seconded to receive the minutes and adopt the recommendations, except item 5. Alderman Grill.
Why the deletion of number 5, Your Worship, of information I received recently that I did not have that information on the 6th of May of certain concerns. One was the fire chief, and he's not here at the present time. Another one is what it would do to should the RCMP would require another second access or a better exit from their quarters in Fairview. It's an established fact, Your Worship, that you have created a double jeopardy in that area. Children from the parks cross the tracks, which is number 1 jeopardy. Angle parking creates jaywalking. That's number 2. The bus travels in that general area. We do not have much snow in that area. Granted, should there be a heavy snowfall in that area, then there's a problem. The fire chief is concerned. And I think it should go back to the traffic committee for a further consideration or a further study. And that is the reason why I have omitted item number 5, Your Worship.
Other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Carried.
Thank you very much.
I have 4 requests. First from Wendy and Doreen Keller regarding the removal of trees. There's no recommendation attached, only the city policy.
Just look at the question, Your Worship, if it's in order.
Sure.
Director Works, how bad is this tree? Is it leaning, or what is the disposition of the tree at the present time?
Your Worship, this is just a bunch of cottonwood trees, and there's, other than they're blocking his view, they're not doing anybody any problems.
I can't see on this material where this takes place. Do we have any description? I don't know what the colors happen to live.
Corner of Cottonwood and Douglas Road. I mean, Chatham and Douglas Road. Cottonwood trees, sir.
It's a driveway. Is it entrance to the driveway? Am I correct?
No, it's actually property below him.
Below.
And it's city-owned property they're growing on. Is it road right away?
Yes, it's Chatham Street right away. Yes.
Any member of council ready to make a motion in this regard?
I think I would make a motion that we refer it to our Director of Works for recommendation to council.
Second.
I would like to ask a question, Your Worship.
Sure.
If these are trees that we have planted, or have they just grown up naturally?
As far as I can tell, they're just trees that have grown up naturally.
You might get your recommendation quicker than you expect. Mr. Adams, are you ready to tell us?
He has a recommendation. It's great.
If I could,
Well,
I'm sorry, Alderman, go ahead.
yes, this is one of these situations where, if there's some way that we can accommodate a taxpayer that, I feel that we should be in a position to consider it. We have a policy, and if they're diseased or if it's going to bring down power lines, if are the trees of any benefit to anyone? The other side of the story, in other words, are we protecting the trees because they're important to somebody else living in the area? But if they're not, I kind of feel that we should at least consider seriously accommodating a taxpayer if it's affecting a few, or if, as the Court of Revision says, they're paying for this few in their taxes, and it looks like they're not getting it. I have some sympathy for what they're saying. I don't know whether we can accommodate them within our policy, but I'd like us to be sympathetic.
Yeah, that's my feeling. I thought this was, our policy was developed to protect boulevard 100-year-old oaks, not cottonwood weed trees. So, I don't agree with the motion unless staff knows they're valuable in some way. My only question, following up on Alderman Smithson's comments, perhaps the administrator can tell us if there's a cost, and of course there always is, can we ask the property owner making such a request to carry the cost? Or tell him to do it himself and issue permission in writing?
Your Worship, that's exactly why the request is before council, because of the policy in place, staff don't have the authority to accommodate this particular request, and council have that discretion, and obviously council feels the request is warranted, and so it's up to council to authorize the request to be carried out with or without expenses.
I think I would withdraw the motion.
It's simply before council because of the policy. We don't have the authority to go beyond what's there now, and council do, of course.
I would move then that
Hang on, Alderman, if you can. I just want clarity. We can only withdraw it with the approval of the seconder. That's agreeable, withdrawn, Alderman?
I would move then that if there is no cost to the city, that the trees be removed from the front of the teller's residence and that their view be restored. I think we have run into this kind of problem before, and we have done the same kind of thing with other trees that were not planted trees.
Before accepting a motion, Alderman, let's get straight who's going to carry the cost, because of course there's a cost. Mr. Administrator, can we give people permission to do the work on city land?
Council can,
No liability problems?
there always is, Your Worship.
Is there a waiver?
Yes.
Perhaps the motion that you intend, Alderman Heflin, is that the government to be given permission to cut down these trees at their own expense and at their own risk.
Yes, as long as they indemnify the city from any liability.
The trees perhaps to be tagged by city staff.
Whatever routine they used the last time we ran into this problem.
Is that your intention?
Yes.
Is that covered, Mr. Administrator?
I think so, Your Worship. That was the only other question, is how far would they be allowed to go in cutting down?
If the city tagged the trees and then they took them out and signed a waiver indemnifying the city, I don't see any problem with that because they are not boulevard trees, they are not valuable trees, they are what is known as a weed tree, so I don't see any problem with removing them as long as it doesn't cost the city nothing.